The major idea behind online social tools is to make our lives easier by making us more accessible. Through different networks, we are constantly connected, never missing a beat on what is happening in our friends' lives. But before we take this too deep, let's look at the early days of social networking.
The year was 1995. Trying to build off the popularity of the interwebs, Classmates.com launches as a way to find and keep in touch with former school chums. Classmates.com became very popular and inspired web designers to try even harder. Fast forward 7 years and Friendster arrives. Friendster changed the game in that it allowed you to become a friend with anyone, not just people who you went to school with. Friendster also focused more on sending messages and blogging. Sound familiar? 2003 and 2004 saw two new giant births, MySpace and Facebook. MySpace and Facebook allowed users to customize their page, adding things like pictures, applications, and music. The world will never be the same.
Now with online networks like Facebook and MySpace, you can keep up to date with all of your friends, or make new friends with similar interests. Online social networks provide much more than just a way to keep in touch with your friends. The video game world took notice of the amount of time people spent online and wanted a piece of the action. Online gaming is certainly not anything new, but the types of online gaming that happens these days is. The game Second Life, for example, puts you in the shoes of an ordinary person, in a virtual playground, of course. You can do everything from buying shoes, to getting a job, to even finding a wife. There is no score in the game, no time limit, and every character in the game is controlled by a real person. Combining social networks and social gaming like Second Life have really changed the world. It changed the way we thought about communication. Long-lost friends can become best friends again. Your friends who went to college in Washington State while you stayed in Florida, they don't seem so far away anymore. Speaking of college, many universities now use some form of social networking for their distance education. Distance education is growing and growing every year. Not just in the number of students, but in the interface used. Message boards have replaced classroom discussions, which can be viewed as a very good thing. For example, you aren't limited to an hour a day to discuss topics. You can chew the fat all night if you want. There are some drawbacks to distance learning though, especially in my field. Being in video production, a lot of my learning is hands-on. I'm not going to get the same experience online as I would sitting in the same room as the equipment I need to learn how to use. But this can all change as distance learning interfaces become more advanced. Social networking has also opened the door for creativity to flourish. The power of the internet opens many doors for aspiring musicians, filmmakers, actors, sculptors, or even photographers. It provides an outlet so they can express themselves to the world, or at least to anyone interested. With so much content moving over the webs, something had to be done about the copywriting. Enter the Creative Commons copyright. The Creative Commons was set up as a way for people to more easily share their works or partial works for others to use. This means that you could search the Creative Commons database and find a piece of music or video that you want to use without having to pay some crazy royalties or be denied even using it. There are some stipulations to the Creative Commons copyright, but it makes it much easier for you to determine what you can use without being sued. As a video production major, this is great. Since I don't have money to pay for the music in my videos, I can just use someone else's work from the Creative Commons. This is also great for video footage. Stock footage is expensive, and if I shot at a cool location, I would love for someone who couldn't have traveled to be able to use my footage to make their video better. And that is what social networking all boils down to, making our lives easier through accessibility. With everyone adding to the melting pot of ideas, the world will progress much faster than it has in the past.